The affordability crisis. It's everywhere. I mean, it's clickbait. You and I both see it. We know it. And sometimes we click on it because that's what they want. They want us to click on these articles. But here's the deal. Affordability in real estate is different today than it was 2 years ago or even a year ago. Yes, the price of homes have increased, but that's what real estate does. Real estate increases in value over time for the most part. Now, not every year are you going to have a 20% increase like we saw back in the pandemic. On average, depending on where you are in the country, you might expect a 2 to 4, 5% increase in the appreciation or the value of your home. And that's how we build wealth through real estate. Year over year, if you're getting a 4% increase in the value of your home without tapping back into any of that equity, you're building wealth that way. Well, if we think about the rise in prices of real estate, we can't go back in time. And I would venture to guess that people had this affordability conversation even back in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, because real estate has increased in value over time. Now, I'm going to wipe out the Great Recession because that was a whole different set of circumstances. But even since then, I've owned my home in Scottsdale, Arizona since 2003. So it was before the Great Recession. And even despite the Great Recession of 2008, I still have equity. My house is worth more today than what I paid for it in 2003. When it comes to affordability, there are 3 things I want to outline with you today to really reset and get you the truth of what's behind this affordability clickbait that's out there. So the first is realize that they're not talking about incomes have increased and have increased no matter if you're comparing from now to 2020 or 2020 to 1990 or 1990 to 1980. While the cost of goods and the cost of homes have increased, so has income. So it's really important just to understand, don't get kind of caught up in this, well, it's just too expensive, I can't qualify. You might be able to. Secondly, if you're willing to drive to the outer skirts of your town, you may see a drastic price reduction with some of this new home construction that's being built on the outskirts. And by drastic, I mean, I see in my town that I live in, it can be $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 less for maybe the same square footage as what you would pay for in the city. Now, I get it. Some people don't have the luxury of living on the outskirts, whether that's church or where you work or daycare and all the things. But if you are in a position to be able to drive and it works in your lifestyle, I would consider going out and seeing what the new home builders are offering and what those prices are, because they are less when compared to some of the inner city types of resale market values. And also, new home builders right now, and this won't be forever, but right now are offering incredible interest rate incentives. They are actually buying down the interest rate even below market value to help people purchase their homes. So this is a double whammy win. If you are in the new home construction market and you're willing to drive a little bit, I would definitely consider it. And then lastly, don't forget that President Trump has directed Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to purchase $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities. That's like a big phrase right now. And I know you're like, well, what the heck does that mean to me? What that means is that effort is going to also help interest rates come down. Now, that's just one of many things that drives interest rates. As I've said before, inflation, job reports, global occurrences, global economy, all of these things will impact mortgage rates here in this country. But that directive alone, we've already seen interest rates start to come down, and we've seen inflation get under control. We've also seen unemployment, unfortunately, increase a little bit. So all of these things really kind of combine together to make for a lower mortgage interest rate market. So if you're in the market to purchase, now is a great time. Forget about all of the clickbait out there with affordability issues. There's no way you can buy. They're just scaring you. You absolutely might be on a track to buy, and you're never gonna know unless you pick up the phone and talk to a mortgage lender. They're gonna be able to ask you what's going on in your world, what your goals are, how much you're paying in rent, all the things, and then work with you on a strategy to get you to home ownership if that's what you want. Hopefully that helps. If we can help you, don't hesitate to reach out, 480-725-0150. A Kelly Zitlow Group mortgage advisor would love to walk you through what your next steps are. And as a reminder, Cornerstone lands all across the country, so it doesn't matter what state you're in.